Okay, Pretty, you have the link. Let me just put it on my LinkedIn profile quickly. Just 1 second. Let me just see one thing. All right. Pleasant good evening. Today is Saturday, the 16th of July, 2022. And I want to welcome you to this another Saturday in the class of Steele U, friend. We have a few more weeks before this year comes to a close. This year comes to a close in the month of August. August will be 1 year. And as a result of that, we will be putting some things in place to bring the year to a successful conclusion in August. And some things are going to happen, and we will kind of let you guys know what that is. And I hope you could appreciate something that I will tell you. I am very pleased that we have found in this year quality. A lot of times when you start anything, you have quantity. How many of you know what I'm talking about? You have quantity, and you have to do some filtering and some talking and some squeezing and some pressing, and then you get quality. Quality comes as a result of those who have gotten to the place where they recognize where they're going, why they're going there, and what they want to accomplish. So with that being said, let's jump straight into this evening's class. And the title that I have is RAD, R-A-D. It's quite simple. And some of you might think that what we're going to be sharing this evening is kindergarten. Ooh, don't think it's kindergarten. A lot of times kindergarten is healthy, and it takes you to a level that you might not have thought of before. So the simple one for RAD, and the first one is read. Read. All right, write it down. I'm teaching you how to be successful, and this is going to help you. Read. Most people do not take the time to read. They do not. They don't find it interesting. They don't find it important. They don't find it valuable. And as a matter of fact, if you are going to be impacting government, if you're going to be impacting policy and legislatures, you're going to have to read. I'm going to harp on it this evening because I want you to grasp the necessity to eradicate stupidity. Reading. A lot of times individuals, they don't find it easy to just sit down and read because they don't have time. I'm too busy. I'm not able to do it. I'm sorry, I have other more important things to do. I could watch a YouTube video, or I could go to a conference. Going to a conference and watching a YouTube video is not going to give you the detail and the meat of legislative documents. As a lawyer, you have to read. You have to be able to go into details, study, and see what is written. But the ability to focus on reading gives you another added ability. It increases and it enhances your ability to communicate effectively. Don't look at me and think, oh, His Excellency can speak on so many subjects and he's so eloquent of speech to some degree, and he's so competent. He doesn't use notes. I don't use notes. I don't have anything on my screen like a politician that has something ticking across the screen. I don't have anything like that. Everything that I share with you comes from inside. But how did it get inside? It got inside because I read. Did you all get that? Please get it. When you go to school, they push you to read. They push you to do literature. They push you. They probe you. They want you to. Guys, read. I want all of you to read. At the ending of this year, I want to have individuals that I'm going to say, I have 5 persons that I can count on. 5 persons that if I put them in any position, I know they're going to perform. I know they're going to deliver. I know that for a fact because I know first thing, I'm confident they're going to read. And I'm confident they're going to do more research. I'm confident they understand what being globally relevant means. I'm confident. I'm confident that they understand how to communicate effectively. But today I want to focus on that reading aspect as the R in the RAD. I want to focus on it. And I don't want you to take it lightly. I don't want you to. If you are not already an avid reader, a lot of Christians or persons in their religion, they read their Bibles. Let me share something with you that is very critical. There are a lot of Christians that the only book they read is the Bible. And when they sit in parliament, when they sit in government, when they sit in high offices, the only thing they can quote is scriptures. They can't talk about anything else. Look at me. I want you to laugh. I want you to laugh. Because a lot of them have become useless when it comes to policy development, when it comes to implementing of strategies that are conducive to the development of a society or a community, when it comes to talking about things that are conducive to the sustainable development goals, if you equally want to use that term. And they create conflicts because the only thing they can quote is the Bible. I'm proud of a bishop that knows the word of God. I've read the Bible 3 or 4, no, I'm lying. I've read the Bible about 4 or 5 times. I've read the Bible from the time I was 8 years old. I think I have already read through the Bible. I love the word of God. I hold a doctor of divinity. That's because I am a theological student. I know the Bible to a hilt. How many of you hear me quoting scriptures and verses in the class of Steele Youth? How many of you hear me always doing that? I don't. I don't have to. And the reason why I don't have to is because my life is scripture. My life is not John 5:9 and Matthew 4:3. And no, my life is scripture. My life is based on the reality of being able to communicate effectively all those things that I have been taught in theology and as a student of the Word of God or the Bible. That's fine. but to be globally relevant and to be in a position where you're able to speak to individuals across all faiths, across all cultures, across any divide, you need to be able to read and translate what you read into everyday, comfortable, peace living jargon. One of the things I do is conflict resolution. I've read about so many things. My appetite for reading is great. I'll be very transparent with you. I don't read fiction, to be honest with you. I'm not a fiction person because I don't want to corrupt the knowledge that I have. So I do not read fiction at all. I don't read novels and books that people that are creative writers write. I don't read those, none of them. I don't feed that into my spirit. What I feed my spirit is with real things, history, science, every kind of subject that you could think of, I read about, but it has to be real, relevant, live, and truth and factual. I don't read science fiction, or I don't read anything that is not real. Because how many of you know when you get into conversations and you start talking on a subject, some people start quoting Star Wars. And Enid Blyton and Nancy Drew, Harry Potter. Notwithstanding, don't be fooled. Harry Potter seems fictional, but there are lots of things that are in there that can teach you a thing or two that they want to hide from you that are quite real. But let's leave that alone. But I want you to read. I don't want you to stop reading. What's going on in the news that is of value to you? What's current? What's going on in the financial circles? What's going on in the conflicts around the world? Why are they having these conflicts? Why are they having these challenges? Read. Go read the history. A lot of people see war in Ukraine and they see Russia and they don't understand a lot of dynamics. I've done a whole lot of reading and research. And if I tell you to go and study Turkey, and look at the relationship between Turkey and Russia and Ukraine, you're going to start to see a really different picture. Because you're going to start to see, wait a minute, whoa, Russia was set up, and Russia is not really all that and a slice of bread. There's somebody bigger. And these are sons and nephews and family that have been fighting for generations. Wait a minute. And as you start to read more and you learn about treaties and covenants and the formation of countries and governmental structures, you understand why presidents and prime ministers get into circles and they're not able to do anything other than follow the script. Are y'all with me? Please, everybody with me? You have to. If you don't read, you just talk off the top of your head without understanding. I could bet a lot of you are not even aware that the technological advancements inside of South Korea are so great that South Korea and North Korea, the reason why they're blocked off from the world is because a lot of the things that are tested in the world at a larger scale are done in those countries. Did you know that? Did you know that there are cities that are set up in South Korea and different parts of the world that they use these cities to test technology? A whole city set up just to test technology. I bet a lot of you didn't know that. So there are countries in the world that they have things about them that you need to read. Do you know why Chinese are so short? You should read. Do you know why the people from Netherlands are so tall? Persons from Holland, do you know why they're so tall? You should read. Do you know that there were really giants on the earth in the period, and the giants have their sons and their sons' sons and their sons' sons, and that's why the NBA is formed from sons? You should read. All right. So are we settled on that reading part? Come on now, come on. I'm excited. I want if you look at your mentor in as me as your mentor, and you says, wow, why is my mentor like this? Why is he always buzzing and excited? Because the knowledge is on the inside. Too many of you get a subject to do, and when you have the subject to do, you now have to go and read, and you now have to go and figure it out, and you don't spend it as a lifestyle. Let your lifestyle be knowledge. Let your lifestyle, just for the mere sake that you're informed. Read. I'm so bored. Why are you bored? Get a book. I don't have anything to do. In the spare time that you don't have anything to do, go sit under a tree and read. Go and get real books and read. A lot of people live under a small little rock or a small island or a small country, and they get frustrated with life, and they get overwhelmed, and they want to take out themselves. And I says, are you joking me? Would I want to take out myself? I'm telling you, I would get on the next flight and go to the next country and start over, my friend. Read. That's why they're destroying our black men and women, to stop them from getting a passport. Because they don't want you to recognize there is such a vast world out there, and your potential is so great. Read, please, read. Log on to the internet and sit down and pull up books and pull up journals and articles and read. You want to understand how money works and how finances operate? Read. Go and join the Federal Reserve Bank of New York or of the USA. Go and join the Federal Reserve and recognize they offer all of this knowledge for free. Go and join the Bank of England and look at their website, and you're going to see, you could go and read about instruments. You could go and read about currency, read about money, find out how it got there, when it got there, why it got there, what are the security features in money, why money this, why money that. Understand why the security for instruments. Understand all of these things. Read. I want you to read. Don't be a people that are complaining about nothing to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't have anything to do for the weekend. Are you kidding me? Read. Sometimes my wife, unless I have to travel to a next country to do something, sometimes my wife is she will tell you, I don't go anywhere aimless. I spend so much time studying. So individuals, when they hear me speaking, they say, oh, how do you know so much? You're so smart. God really blessed you. I didn't lay down and put my head on a Bible and pray and fast for knowledge, my friends. I'm standing on the word of God. And some people just stand up on the Bible and think you get smart. You don't get smart standing on the Bible. You get smart by reading. Oh, God makes you so wise. He does. He makes us wise by giving us the capacity to read and understand what we've read. How many of you get what I'm saying? Please, come on. If you get what I'm saying. God doesn't just give you the wisdom to understand the Bible. He gives you the wisdom to understand whatever you read. If you read a book on accounts, he will give you the wisdom to understand it. Whatever you read, whatever you study. I'm passionate about reading. I'm passionate about studying. R is the first letter. Have you all got it? Have I beaten it enough? Ruth, have I beaten this read subject enough? Talk to me, Ruth. Have I beaten it enough?
Yes, please. Yes.
Uh, Ruth, are you're a reader as well, right?
Yeah.
But you could do a bit more. Am I correct?
Yes, that is actually what I'm grasping from what you're saying. Reading more than what I do now.
I'm going to give you a secret. All of you that are in university, I'm going to give you a secret. Don't forget this secret. You could call it a secret because I'm making it public. That's fine. I'm going to give you a secret. A lot of you go to university. Do you want me to tell you something that most of you have not noticed? Do you know that when you have your subscription for the library of the university, there are books called reference books that you cannot take out of the university? Did you know that? Okay, let me tell you something about those books. A lot of you go to university and you never go and study beyond your subject. And you miss the biggest opportunity that has been given to you to delve into some of those books on other subject matter that the university gave you the privilege to be able to access. And when you leave university, you hear people having conversations and discourses on eloquently discussing matters that you had the opportunity while you were in university to read the same reference books they have. But guess what? Those books are not available on the streets. And those books are not available in the public circle. And you missed the opportunity because you were just caught up in you're working so hard and you're a subject, you don't have time to do anything and socializing and meeting your friends. Are you joking me? You were given a golden opportunity that cost your family thousands of dollars to sit amongst the greatest brains on the planet and in the universe. Not what I just said, on the planet and in the universe. And you missed the opportunity to read. Go in the reference library and sit down and tell somebody, I'm sorry, just stick up a book randomly in the reference library. Randomly, don't have any subject, randomly. And let it pique your interest. A lot of people are seeing technology and seeing things and they don't ask very interesting questions. The Wright brothers talked about flight, and we hear about the Wright brothers. How many of you understand the technology behind aviation for so long? I'm going to leave that with you. Read. Please read. A. So we can move on to the A. So after reading, there's action. Write it down. Action or acting or act. Some people do so much talking. They have so much knowledge, but no action, none whatsoever. Now, as much as I'm telling you about reading, there must be action as per the knowledge that you have. What action are you putting in place? Are you a teacher? Are you a preacher? Are you an educator? Are you a company director performing? Are you a business owner working? Are you giving back? Are you a peace ambassador? Are you a government official? Are you working in politics trying to help your country to be a better place? Are you an ambassador? You've read now. When you go to the university, the term for university graduates is he's well read. If you've ever seen that, that's what it means. He's well read. You read a lot. You're well read. He's a well-read man. Oh, she's a well-read lady. When I went to the Metropolitan Police and I was there as an advisor to the Metropolitan Police Authority, I excelled and I shone. I shone brightly. Can I tell you the honest truth and the only reason why? It wasn't anything impressive. It was just that when a document was given to me based on statistics and information pertaining to the relevance of what was happening in the criminal society in the UK, I was able to sit down and read the document, look at the statistics. And then when I came back, action. I was able to discuss and have conversations relevant to what can possibly be done based on what I have read, what I observed, and what action could be taken. So I was one of the authorities that was responsible for the relaunching with a group of people, not just myself, how they looked at stop and search in the United Kingdom. Back in the day, after the Stephen Lawrence inquiry and the producing of the Macpherson report, which gave 60 recommendations for policing in the United Kingdom and producing the Race Relations Amendment Act. Now, why did I say that to you? Because being well-read gives you the capacity to be a man or woman of action. You could now do something. It's okay to read and it's okay to know these things, but what are you going to do about the knowledge that you have? How are you going to incorporate your knowledge into something that is relevant, that is current? My wife, when she finished working as she was an insurance executive. She was executive secretary for an insurance company in Barbados, and she was the secretary for one of the bosses, and she had 80 plus persons that were under her. When she came up from doing that, after she gave birth to Josh, I told her, go and learn to fly the plane. She said, what? I said, go and do ground school and learn to fly the plane. She says, but that's a lot of training, and it is a lot of training. You got to learn, you have to learn aviation law, you have to learn radio telephony, you have to know international law, you have to learn aerodynamics. It's a whole lot of things you have to study. I said, I'll help you. She says, no, you go and do it. I says, no, I don't want to go and do it. I want to help you to do it. Long story being made short, she accepted and she decided to do it. And she's successfully passed ground school when others were failing because they didn't pass the other subjects. Oh, and you have to be level 6 at English. And obviously you have to know mathematics because you have to understand things. And I was excited being her teacher. And then we started helping student pilots. So I used to help a lot of the student pilots because I like teaching. And it made me read vast documents based on aviation and travel. But what am I saying that for? Action. Action your knowledge. Action it. Look for ways to action your knowledge. Pretty is a teacher. That's what she does. She learns and she teaches. So she's actioning her knowledge. You guys are in universities. You guys are in the government. You guys are in different positions globally. You're actioning. You're ambassadors, some of you. Action. Don't just be a talker. Don't just be the person who knows the right person for the job. I want you to be the right person for the job. Are you with me? I want you from the class of Steele be the one they want because you've got it. So another A word that I want to put in there with action is after you got your knowledge, I want to put an A word in there with the action. Because this is an action you need to do. Ask questions. I want to ask questions. Most of you don't want to ask questions. I could guarantee you a lot of you don't know that most libraries and universities have individuals that are in there that wrote some of the books that were in the university. I bet some of you didn't know that. Some of the very persons that are in the university, these little old men walking around, you see them just dusting books. You think they're just book dusters. Try to ask them. As a matter of fact, Ruth, I want to ask, and the reason why I keep picking on Ruth is because I know that she is in university in China at the moment, her and Elizabeth. Ruth, do you see any old people walking through the reference section of the library, cleaning books or stacking books? Do you have that in your university?
Yes.
Ruth, I'm going to give you a challenge, and I want you to come back next Saturday and tell me. I'm going to give you, unless they don't speak English, because chances are, if they're in your,
they don't
speak English.
They don't. And right now we are under lockdown, so we are not allowed to enter the school campus, especially those of us living off campus.
Oh, okay. But I want to give you guys a challenge. You want me to tell you why a lot of the Chinese students in the Chinese countries excel beyond measure in their universities? And you might think their universities are so super and you go to them, why don't you excel like them? I'll tell you why. Because they know those people that are planted there tell them what the university professor is not going to tell them. The university professor is just going to tell you, go to the reference section of the library and get this book. But he knows who is in that reference section. And if you don't learn to ask questions, you will never get that knowledge that is relevant to you getting to the next level. So I want to challenge you guys, ask questions. Ask relevant questions, pertinent questions, questions that have value to the subject content that you want to action. But ask questions. Read, action, ask questions. And then this is the D. This is the D. So it's read, action, and please remember this D. Please. If you forget everything else, I want you to remember D. D is going to be the common factor in your character that is going to just cause you to excel at an enormous rate. Please remember this D. Don't forget it. As simple as it sounds, it is one of the most profound things that you can add to your character. It is one of the things that if you add it to your character, with time, you are going to see the results of it. Listen to me, class of Steele. Please hear me. D is for deliver. D is for deliver. Listen to me. Listen carefully. A lot of people during the process of birth, they abort the baby. Some of them even die in childbirth. Let me explain what I just said. A lot of people, because of the difficulty of labor, they stop pushing. And the doctors realize, oh my God, if we don't take this baby by section, this person is going to lose the baby and this person might die. Are you with me what I'm trying to say to you? A lot of you started projects, and because of the difficulty of the delivery, a lot of you either let the baby die or a lot of you died in the process. Deliver. I want you to be a deliverer. Let me spell out deliverer for you so you kind of get it. Deliver on what you say you are going to do. That's what I mean by a deliverer. Deliver on what you say you are going to do. You can't be responsible for somebody else. That's why you need to learn to keep your circle small. Very small circle. And when you find somebody that you put in your circle that is dependable, another D word, you and that dependable person are able to dominate because you both learn to deliver. You show up and you deliver. No matter what the cost, no matter what the time, no matter the energy. Somebody asked me, how many hours a day do you work? I tell them I'm a 24/7 person. They said, what do you mean? I said, I'm 24/7. If I'm doing something that I want to get it done, and you call me to discuss what would make that happen or what we need to do to get it done, I'm available. Don't apologize for calling me to deliver on something I have to deliver on. Don't apologize. I'm available. Oh, I don't have the time right now. Oh, I'm a little bit busy. If you have something to deliver on, you don't be busy. That's your busyness. Some people, they says, oh, Michael, I'm going to do this for you and I'm going to do this with you. And then when you call them, oh, I'm sorry, man. Sorry, man. I forgot, man. I know you told me that you wanted me to do that, bro, but sorry, man. Listen. Give me a call back. Let me talk to you tomorrow. Let me talk to you tomorrow. I don't have too many of those persons in my circle. Because when I realize that at the time most that I need them, they're not available, the persons that are above me, depending on me, call me a fraud. Call me a fake, because I have persons that don't deliver in my circle. Come on, somebody, wave at me. Wave at me, wave at me, wave at me. Some of you need, if you are gonna roll with me in 2023 and 24, you're gonna have to abandon a lot of people. And persons are gonna tell you that, oh, I don't like your boss. I don't like Dr. Steele. I don't like him. He just cuts off people. I cut off time wasters. I cut off procrastinators. I cut off people who don't deliver on what they say they're going to deliver on, because your word is the only bond that you have. Deliver. Some of you have all of these politician friends that you get angry with them because they can't deliver. They outstretch themselves, they overstretch themselves. They speak as though their mouths don't have any authority. And then they don't deliver. You have to deliver. How long ago did we start the class of Steele? Oh, we're going to do the class of Steele, and we're going to do it every Saturday. How many of you heard me say that in the beginning? Who was with me from the beginning? Pretty, you were with us from the start? Pretty, come on, let me unmute Pretty. Pretty, when you heard me say that we're going to do the class of Steele from every single Saturday, and we're going to stick to it, and it's not about money, it's not about anything. How many persons thought there was a catch to it? And surely, what do you think, Pretty?
Okay. Good evening, Your Excellency.
Good evening.
Yes, you're quite right. When we started the class of Steele last year, August, yeah, a lot of people came in with so many expectations. Yes, and like we normally do, some people they thought it was something that maybe we'll have a class today, maybe next week there won't be any class. And sometimes they will ask if there is class today or if the class next week. And I remember when one day you told us, that nobody should ask you if there is going to be class. except you say otherwise, that we are going to be having class every Saturday until the next 2022 August. So, and I think at that point, so many people started dropping. They started losing their interest. So, but we stayed true.
Have I kept my word, Pretty?
Yes, sir. You did. You did.
Yuloma, how has this journey been for you for a whole year every Saturday? Have I kept my word, Yuloma?
Yes, just like what Pretty said, you have kept your word, sir. I remember when we used to ask in the chat room if there was going to be class next Saturday, and some of us, because we are not used to taking responsibility of showing up for this kind of stuff every Saturday, we try to adjust. Sometimes we wish it's not going to take place or it's not going to hold. But in all, I told myself I must get to the end of it, come what may, no matter how inconvenient it is, I will try my best to always be part of it. And it's been interesting. It's been interesting. It's been interesting.
So let me ask you a question. Have I ever been late? Have any of you ever seen me show up for the class of Steele late?
No. You haven't been late. In fact, when at a point you said once it's 10 minutes behind time, you log the class. So we always try to, for me, I don't know about other people, I always try to get in between first 5-10 minutes of the class. Yes. And you're very, very, very strict initially. But it was a good training, though. It was a good training. It is.
Have your life improved in this year that you've been in the class of Steele, Yuloma? Honestly, have your life improved in this year?
Yes, I have learned to discipline myself concerning time. I used to be very late for church. In fact, my house is next to church. The next compound is church, yet I come very late. But because of class of Steele, I have been known to show up for my meetings, seminars, presentations, church services, or if I have an engagement with somebody, I will show up on time because that has become my new habit. It has become my lifestyle. That was when you taught us on integrity, and you also taught us about time, how time can, let me rephrase it, how time can introduce you, how time can be aware of you being taken seriously or not. Keeping to time is like keeping to your word. So it has really improved my life. In fact, my entire family, everybody knows that once it's around 4:35 p.m., they start gathering my stuff for class of Steele.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ruth has been in the class of Steele improve your life.
Very well, very, very much. I joined in the middle of the class when it began, and I've observed a whole lot of things from not only you, but from my colleagues as well. And I'm always like, whenever I join, even when I'm a little bit late, the first person I see is Pretty. And I said, wow, this class, this class is not a lazy class. People are really serious here. So I ought to be serious with my time. And sometimes I have to sleep during the day to make up the time. And like what happened last week, I couldn't sleep during the day. So whilst I was on set, my actual is just turning around. So seeing how valuable the class was, I tuned my mind that I need to make time for it because this I'm not paying. People are paying millions of dollars, and things to get this kind of tuition if I'm getting it free. And I need not to joke with it. So even if there is a need for me to sacrifice some time of my sleep, besides, I'm not really doing any strenuous work. It's just my research that I'm doing. So I have my time that I do the work, some time when I'm tired and I rest and all that. So adding those ones to it has really put me on my toes. It has broadened my mind regarding certain things and then some issues of life. Yeah, it has really helped me a lot.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Zail in South Africa. Zail has been in the class of Steele added any value to you? You're in South Africa. Has been a part of this class of Steele for the part that you've joined within this year. Has it been beneficial to you? Added any value to you at all?
Good evening, Excellency. Indeed, it has. And to a point where I find myself, whenever I'm listening to other mentors, I don't find the quality that I do get from this class. And it kind of bored me because it's not supposed to be like that, because I've learned better in this class. And I'm taking a lot of notes and always go back to it. And I find, like Mercy, trying to be on time and persevere in what you're doing, it really helped me a lot. It actually made me more confident in life, and the little bit I feel so sick not being part of it the whole year. If I should have to do it next year, I will do it, because what you get here is phenomenal. And out of this course. Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for your submission. Bishop Dr. Comfort Adu, mommy is in the house. And it's really good to see her. Your Excellency, Bishop Dr. Comfort Adu. Mommy have seen all of these wonderful young people advance to this level. We're getting close to a closure. What has the class of Steele on Saturday youth been like for you, being amongst them?
Good evening, Your Excellency.
Good evening.
Bishop Dr. Mike Steele and Her Excellency Jeannie Steele, First Lady, and all the excellencies who will be at post watching what is going on, and the upcoming excellencies in the house. In fact, it has been a privilege to be on this class. You can see how they progress from when they set in to this point. I would say that by the grace of God, things have been so wonderful. You have done well, Your Excellency, to bring them this far. And I also think of how, just like Ruth was saying, how they all streamed in the beginning and they were running. And once you said that we see those who will be on the platform at the end of the course, you rightly said so. Now look at those who are here, serious, well-groomed, and well, it's a challenging, but they have done well, and you have done marvelously well. I'm so glad to be part of this group. I'm so great. It's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Bishop Dr. Comfort Adu, who has equally been consistent with me in making sure that you guys have a mommy that is here with us, with me and the First Lady. One thing I'm gonna drive it home: deliver. Deliver. Because a lot of people do not have the ability to deliver. Because let's look at some things that stop you from delivering. Some of the things that stop people from delivering is another D word, which is depending. Depending on others. Sometimes those that they depend on are not able to deliver. They're just deceivers and deceptive and destroyers of dreams. I'm in a D role. So you need to have persons you can depend on. Integrity. If you can't do it, say you can't do it. Integrity also stops people from delivering, lack thereof. If you can't deliver on something, don't say you're going to deliver on it. The other thing is respect. Don't be a part of something if you don't respect either the head, the project, or the process. Don't be a part of it. If you don't respect a person, if you don't respect what they're doing, which is their vision, if you don't respect their process or how it is packaged, don't join. Because when it comes to delivering for that organization, you're going to compromise. You're not going to, you see, I keep talking about the company where I'm a non-executive member of the board of directors, Ethos Asset Management. I keep talking about it, and it's important, and I want you to kind of grasp it. If you don't have others that you celebrate what they're doing, why they're doing it, how they're doing it, when it comes time for you to deliver on an action point that they need you to action, you will compromise. If I call somebody from the class of Steele and tell them I want them to do something for me pertaining to the class of Steele, because of me, they might say, "Oh yeah, Your Excellency, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I'll help you. No, I got you." But they don't have me because they don't feel my project. They don't feel me as a person. They don't possibly like my packaging. They don't possibly like the process. They might not be interested in the product. So they're not going to deliver. So make sure that you respect what you get involved with so that you are able to deliver. You have to respect what you're getting involved with or who you are getting involved with. The other thing that is important, and please hear this. Please hear this. A lot of people, I've watched a lot of individuals and they're not their own. So let's kind of deal with that one here now. They're not their own. They're swayed by people. They're swayed by what somebody thinks. Now, all of us are, for sure. All of us are. All of us are swayed or moved by the opinions of others. It's normal. It's human. It's normal. How many of you have some people that if they tell you you're an idiot, you would try to figure out, how could I be such an idiot? How many of you have people like that? That if they call you an idiot, you would feel like an idiot. You would want to beat yourself to a pulp to stop being an idiot. And you would look to see, but where was I an idiot? You try to find it because that particular person, you esteem them so highly. You value their opinion so highly that what they say to you creates an environment for you to respond. But that's one of the problems a lot of individuals have. They're not their own. They're not responsible for their own action. They're not. So here's the thing. How do you mitigate that current situation if you need to? You need to be responsible for your decision. I'm going to be a part of this government. End of discussion. When you start having conversations, you're not having conversations about, do you think this is a good decision that I just made? I've just joined this organization. What do you think? I don't care what you think. I said I just joined this organization. End of discussion. I don't care what you think about it. I've joined it. That's my decision. Oh, that's not a good company to work with, or that's a bad company, or that boss is this, or that boss is that. That's a decision that I have taken myself. I'm responsible for my decision here. Oh, but suppose that company make you do this or make you do that, then that's what I will do. And I'll be responsible for doing it myself. He made me do this. Nobody don't make me do jack diddly. I do it because I chose to do it. And if I don't want to do it, then I wouldn't do it. Because I'm an individual with a choice. And that's one of the things that help you to be a deliverer, when you make your own choices wisely. Oh, but how because you went through so much horror stories and you talking about you so I'm not perfect. I'm still learning. I'm still making mistakes. But guess what? Every single situation that I pass through, I am responsible for what happens to me in that process. I'm responsible because I gave that person, organization, or company the opportunity to do that to me. Too many people are playing the blame game. Snap out of blaming somebody else. Either you're a person who delivers on what you say you're going to do or you're not. End of discussion. Do y'all think that every single Saturday I have nothing else to do? Do you think that every single Saturday I don't potentially have somebody that wants to have an appointment with me? Do I have a six-year-old son and a beautiful wife? Don't you think that some Saturday and some weekend I would like to maybe go out a Saturday and do something at between 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock? Don't you think it's possible? Don't you think people got married in the year that I was in the class of Steele? Don't you think that some things happened? But what? I had to say no. How many of you have ever seen me in the class of Steele in an airport? How many of you seen me at the airport waiting to get on the next flight? And I'm in the airport doing y'all remember that? I remember a couple of airports that I was at doing the class of Steele in the airport. So I had to get to the airport earlier so I could do the class of Steele and then go on my flight. But the class of Steele remained a priority. That thing about delivering. I'm gonna be downstairs. I'll see you downstairs in 15 minutes. The man looks at his watch. 15 minutes is 10 minutes past the hour. Okay. I would never forget one experience that I had, and I'm going to share it with you. I had a meeting with a multimillionaire, very successful multimillionaire, very successful man. And I was staying at the hotel when I had to go to the meeting. And I told him I will meet him at 9 o'clock downstairs. Listen to me. Listen. This was one of the most impressive moments I will never forget. It's going to seem so simple, but I want to share it with you. I told him, I'm going to meet you downstairs at 9 o'clock. Oh, at the exit to the hotel, you know, right out the entrance at 9 o'clock. Listen to me. This multimillionaire pulled up in a very, very nice car. Let's just use, I don't want to go into the details of the car, but I just want to share it with you. He pulled up at the lobby, at the front door at 9 o'clock. I was walking to the door at 9 o'clock. And when I hit his car door, opened the car door, shut the door, we drove off at 9 o'clock. Did you get what I just said to you? I was so impressed with how synchronized that was. The car pulled up and everybody is looking at the car. Everybody going, look, woo! But I walked straight from the elevator, straight to the doors, straight to the car. What am I trying to tell you? You are a cut above every single person when you have integrity with your timekeeping. That's what I want you to get from that scenario. Successful people understand timekeeping. They understand. If I'm going to call you at 9 o'clock, I'll call you at 9 o'clock. Be available. Nobody calls me between 5 o'clock and 7. How many you see? My phone isn't on silent. It's Saturday. Everybody knows what I do on Saturdays between 5 and 7. They know. And if they're new to me and they don't know, and it rings, I just cut it off. Even if it's the king that calls me, he gets cut off. And then I go and I say to him, I was in the class of Steele Youth. Why? Because you're committed. You're dedicated. That's the final one. Read, action, ask questions, deliver. I'm going to be open for a few questions so that we can close this evening's class and I can get on with some other amazing things that I'm doing, I can assure you. Pretty, first questions from you or comment from you. Pretty in Nigeria, go ahead. What did this evening's session do for you?
Good evening once again, Your Excellency.
Good evening.
And all the excellencies in the house. Actually, I don't have a question for today. Well, I'll give my submission because this class actually reminded me of when I first started this class of Steele. It has taught me a lot, although I love being committed in whatever I'm doing, but being in the class of Steele has helped me to build my personality, like keeping time, adjusting from so many things I used to do on Saturdays and weekends. You know, I have to reschedule my time and all that and make sure I'm always available. And it has also helped me in other parts of my life, like in my workplace. When I tell you something, I'm always consistent to what I'm doing. I keep to my time, I keep to my word. I try to deliver no matter how it is. You know, I don't want to be someone who lacks integrity when we discuss something or time and I'll be showing up late. You know, so I was also discussing with someone sometime about class of Steele, and I told this person that being in the class of Steele, we don't preach religion there. We don't do anything like Christianity or whatever religion you are. But being in the class of Steele alone, even if you don't go to church, if you observe all the teachings, that I assure you, you will make heaven. And the person started laughing. I was like, are you serious? Yeah, I've learned a lot of things from the class of Steele, that strictly adhering to all the teachings we're getting from here. It literally makes you a better person in your family, in your workplace, everything. There is nothing we've not learned from you. Having to live an upright life and everything. You mustn't go to church to learn all those things. Just listening to you every Saturday. Yeah, even sometimes I go on YouTube to watch these things to remind me of the past ones too. So it has really helped me also in my public speaking, which I started doing recently. There, I always represent the class of Steele. So it has been a very good journey for me. So these are my submissions. I don't really have a question for you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Pretty, I pick on you for a number of reasons, and I'm going to tell you something. You're never late in the class of Steele. Never. I turn on the class of Steele youth on Saturdays. You're always on time. You're never late. Anytime you're late, there's something that obviously stepped in the way of that, and it doesn't even leave an impression on your character. You're always dressed professionally and respectfully. A lot of people wouldn't recognize that. For the class of Steve, I'm always dressed professionally. If I ever come here in a t-shirt, I would feel so crazy. I would feel so out of place. I'm telling you, I would feel, are you joking? What are you doing? Because you look at your appearance, you look at the trend you're setting. How many of you, I have many Zoom backgrounds. That's a Zoom background. I got that designed specifically for the class of Steel. How many of you see me changing and running around with a whole lot of noise? And remain consistent, remain focused, structured. It's important. So Pretty, you are one of the persons that I am going to celebrate at the ending of this year with high honors. And I tell you in all transparency, even when you went to do other things that you asked my opinion, and I respect you very highly. And I want to thank your husband and your family for giving you this opportunity to be a part of the Class of Steel family. We respect you and we honor you. And I hope that after this year is done, I hope that what you move on to after this year will take you to the next level proudly, with you being able to say, I passed through the Class of Steel. A lot of you are gonna want to know what your Saturdays are gonna be like without the Class of Steel, but that's another subject for you guys. I'm going to feel confident that my corporate social responsibility for 1 year, I have committed to it, dedicated to it. I've given my life to it. I've studied, I've been eloquent. I've made sure I gave you 1 year of my best. I am going to be satisfied, and I'm going to need that break. I promise you, I'm going to take it and enjoy it, me, Jeannie, and Josh. So thank you, Pretty. Jail, what did you take from this evening? What is your take from this evening's session?
Good evening, Excellency and Bishop and everybody else in class. The importance of reading. You've said it before. You said actually asked us how many of us read our government gazette. I still remember that. And by reading, you gain so much knowledge, and that is what I've learned from you. If you don't understand something, rather go and read up on it. And I try to make a point of it to go do some research on what I'm reading, or should I be able to submit or supposed to submit documents. I will first go and read. If I don't understand, I'll go back to it and read. And I truly understand what you're saying by reading. It's truly, and thank you for that. And I will always take it with me. And the Class of Steel can only groom you for the best, for the better and the perfect future. Might not be pitch perfect, but much, much better than what we had or where we started from, or where I started from. And I can truly say thank you to your management, everybody, your time, your availability, and lacking your family for us. And it is, like you're saying, what are we going to do the next year? But it was pretty interesting, and I'm looking forward to the next class. Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you. So what are you going to do when the Class of Steel ends in the ending of August? When I'm no longer here on Saturdays, what's going to happen? You're looking forward to the welcome break? Are you looking forward to a welcome break?
I don't have a life without this, so I don't know.
I hear you, Loma. Good evening, Yuloma. How has this evening session been for you, Yuloma, specifically this evening's class? What's it been for you?
Hello, everybody. Good evening, Your Excellency. Class of Steele has always been a plus for me, for my family, for everybody around me. My team at large. In fact, I lift from here and I drop it in my team. It has really improved and impacted our business, our lifestyle. Just like you talked about dressing, I remember vividly at the onset, you emphasized on our dress code. You don't put on t-shirts, you don't show up just shabbily. I took note of that and it reflected in my everyday life. In as much as sometimes I wish to wear very short skirts, I will tell myself, no, this is class of Steele students. I rep class of Steele wherever in and out of class, and I put on something far much better. Timekeeping, like I earlier said, I've really improved on my time. I keep to time. In fact, I come 30 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes before time. Okay. Now in talking, I remember the class we had when you taught us on how to laugh out loud, laughing hard, especially when you are supposed to get angry or burst out, you just have a good laugh, And that period, I almost exchanged words with a tout in a park because I had it up to here, So I was able to hold myself, not just to strangers, but to people that are close and dear to me, like my husband. Several occasions I feel like lashing out on him, but I just tell myself, let peace reign. Okay. Then there was something First Lady did. There was a book she sent to me via email. And the thought of her sending me that book, I appreciated that fact a great deal. And I'm like, these are people that are looking out for me. They are watching my back and they want the best for me. So all that I've learned from class of Steele have motivated me to try out new things. I don't want to tell myself I can't do it. I'd rather try and fail than not making attempts at all. It has been a plus for me. Thank you so very much for all you do, sir. And you have exposed us to the globe. Yes, I don't know about other people. Somehow, we have been spotlight during the last International Women's Day conference. I and Pretty were called as speakers, and for the classes that we had here, we had the courage, the confidence, and we delivered. Yes, and we delivered. We were added to other groups to continue our topics as projects. So it has, in fact, I don't know. I can't really put. If I keep talking on the impact, it's endless. Thank you so very much for this class of Steele and for everything you do for us. You go out of your way to teach us in details. Grooming, I won't forget that class. Grooming, I won't forget that class. Integrity, global security, that was done by Grandmaster. I also miss him in the class. And so many things, but so many things that will look back and that will repackage our lifestyle. Thank you so much. It has been a great impact, and it is still an impactful journey being in class of Steele.
How are you going to feel when the end of August comes and I says, good, I will not have to see you guys another Saturday anymore. You guys are free. You don't need me in your heads. You can do your Saturday things. You're without me now. How is the first Saturday in September that is going to be for the rest of the year going to do for you guys?
Well, for me, I will still hang around. I'll always look for you on Facebook and know your next programs, and I'll attach myself to it. Yes.
I'm going off the radar and going on the ground. That's what I'm doing.
No. It has become part of us. It has become part of me. You know, sometimes when I have a bad day, I look forward to class of two to brighten my day. You know, just like last Saturday, I was having a very bad day when you were like, Loma, where's your face like that? I've been waiting for this class so that I can get off my bad mood. And it worked. So for such a thing, I can't let go. I will hang around. I'll always look for your programs and hang around.
Thank you so very much. Ruth is one of my favorite students. Ruth coming to the class of Steele all the way from a recommendation, and she's in China. And Ruth, what time is it in China right now?
Right now it is 1:36 a.m.
1:36 a.m. And that's because the clocks have changed, but quite prior,
Yeah.
Ruth would have to be coming to the class of Steele after 2 a.m., correct? After 2
Yes.
a.m. And her and Elizabeth would be in class. And Ruth, I've been so proud of you. As a matter of fact, I actually have watched a lot of the development that you did pertaining to the cultural dynamics with the Chinese and yourself. Tell us, what has this year in the class of Steele been like for you? How have you benefited, and what has it been like for you?
For me, it has been awesome. I'll borrow Uloma's. Sorry, pardon me. Good evening, Your Excellency. Good morning, Your Excellencies, from my end. I just got carried away. Yes, as I was saying, I'll borrow Iloma's statements. It has been plus, 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 plus for me as well, in a sense that it has helped me change a certain mindset I used to have about life. And I have a question. And this question is a real life situation that, in a way, I'm going through with a relation in terms of timing. When you tell you say, let's meet at this time to do this. Oh, you wait and wait and wait. When the person comes to and like you try to, I gave you this time. This time you came. We can't hold the meeting. We cannot do this. The person feels I'm bluffing, I'm being proud, but that isn't it, because I know what I've gotten, the tuition I've gotten somewhere that has groomed me to be time conscious, because society says time waits for no man and time is money. So the more you waste somebody's time, you're wasting money and all that. Because of that, and they are your family relations. If they were just my casual friends, I would have said that, well, some people cannot handle the next level you are going to, so you just cut them off. This is a family relation that you cannot cut off. What do you do? How do you deal with such a person? Apart from that question, what I can say is that the class of Steele has really groomed me very well in terms of my courage, how I used to have problem with stage fright, like those kind of screen talking to people that I don't know. Hardly will I put on my camera, but being in the class of Steele has really given me that edge to be courageous, to be bold wherever I find myself. And I was so glad that you made me one of the speakers for the youth conference the other time. I was so excited. I did it with all excitement. I can't even express myself, because it has really helped me to be outspoken in a way, because I was the very reserved type. I was a very reserved type. I would rather not say things that does not concern me, or even meddling in issues that can be discussed generally. But as a result of being part of the class of Steele, I have in a way become bold, even though I'm still dealing with some parts. But I believe that at the end of this class, I can't say I will be perfect, but I'm going to be better than before. very better than before. Yes. So my question, how do I deal with such a family member who feels I am proud because of the tuition? She doesn't know that the tuition I've gotten in the class of Steele is what has groomed me to this stage. But how do I deal with such a person?
So let me be honest with you. I still deal with those issues of family and people that sometimes they think you're better than them, or they think, no, let me say it the right way. Sometimes they think you think that you're better than them. I think that's the right way to say it. Or you think you are more important. As a matter of fact, I even have associates that are respectable individuals, and they think I am better than anyone else because of how I carry myself. And I discovered something. I have a friend, and he said something to me that I never understood until a long while after thinking about it. And he said to me, the way you think I think you are is different than the way I think you think about you. The way I think about you. Let me try to say it. I think I better spell it out because that sounds so confusing to say it. Basically, people have a thinking about you that is so wrong. The first thing you have to really deal with is your interpretation of how they think about you. That's the first thing you have to deal with. First thing, if you think I'm proud, no, I'm not proud in the sense of I think I'm better than you. I'm proud in the fact that I have learned how to behave and I take pride in my behavior. Okay? Pertaining to timekeeping and different things like that, because of family, sometimes, to be quite honest with you, sometimes family give you the opportunity to release the stress. Being a person of high character and eloquence of speech and professional takes so much energy. It really does. It takes focus, determined energy. And sometimes it is good to, within your family's context, just be chilled out, be relaxed. There is a time that you would find that if you're going to meet your mom or something like that, or your sister or whatever, and you tell her, meet me at 1 o'clock, and you're sat at the mall waiting for her, that's not one of those things where you're critical, where it's that big a deal. So you kind of relax and you kind of give way to your human normal self. You have to learn to strike a balance. You can't be extreme in your expectation or others' expectations of you when it comes to family and friends. Sometimes when it is appropriate, that's what I'm trying to say, in those appropriate times, and you have to choose the appropriate time that you could sit down and wait for 2 hours for your family member, or it doesn't matter. You could choose that for yourself. Now, when it comes to business, don't compromise. Don't ever compromise with business. I tell people, and I'm straight, if I'm running late because of trains or delays or anything, I call people or I text people and apologize and let them know I'm on my way. I rather wait for somebody than have somebody wait for me. That sounds bad, but it's just the reality of how I am. I hate having to wait for somebody, but I rather wait for someone than have them waiting for me, because anytime that I show up, I always have so many things going on that if the person is late, I have 101 things that I could do while I'm waiting for them. So you have to first structure your mind. Forget this better than them talk. That's the first thing. Everybody that has lower standards than you will always try to make you think you're better than them. That's a given. Forget about that. That's irrelevant. Everybody that sees you as better than they are will always try to talk you down. Oh, she's just trying to be relevant. Ignore her. She thinks she's all that in a slice of bread. Forget that. That's irrelevant. Focus on being you, as professional as you could be. Just never be late. And don't ever show up late for her. Because if you do it, then you've just lowered your standard. Why are you laughing?
Right.
Don't. Why did you laugh?
Your facial expression is what got me laughing. Yeah.
Don't ever show up late for her to pay her back for making you wait. You know what? I'm gonna make her wait. Just gonna make her wait. I'm on my way. I'm coming. 5 minutes. And after you're sitting down watching Netflix. I'm coming. I'm on my way. I'll give you a funny story. I'll give you a funny story on that one, and keep a smile about it. Don't take things too serious. Just have a laugh, man. Compromise in life when necessary and have a laugh.
Okay.
I don't want to say who the person is, because may they rest in peace in their grave, because they have gone on to be with their maker. But somebody did something to me that I laugh about today. I laugh about it today. No, I don't laugh about it yesterday or while it happened. I laugh about it today. Oh, I'll meet you in London. I says, where? This is where I'll meet you. I said, okay. And I showed up in London, and I sat at the location, and I'm talking to them. I'm on my way. I'm sorry. I'm stuck in traffic. I waited. The place closed, and it was a sunny day, and I didn't have any cold clothes, and I'm sat trembling. And then all of a sudden, after about 6 hours later, while I was in London waiting for the person stopped answering their phone and never showed up. And I didn't hear the person not till maybe about 2, 3, 4 days later with a story. It's a family member, by the way. And what has happened to me as a result of that is I take a serious look at when I say I'm going to do something, because I know how I felt in that situation that I was in, what it did for me. And as a result of that, I never ever want it to happen to somebody on my watch. Don't worry about what other people do or how other people are. Just you never do it. Don't matter how much they do it to you and how much you think they're going to do it to you. Don't you ever do it to somebody unless it is outside of your own personal ability. Because integrity is not something you get a second shot at sometimes. And then people will talk about, oh, she thinks she's so proud and she's so this and she's so that. All the time you're doing it. But the one time that you dropped your integrity, you'll hear them. And you're the worst mistake that ever happened. Don't lose your integrity. I hope I haven't belabored it and you get what I'm trying to say to you. Go easy on family, and don't take family so serious. Because sometimes the persons who they say a prophet is without honor in his own hometown. Sometimes the people who know you the best do the foolishest things to you. Sometimes the people who know your principles and your stance are the ones that try you the hardest and make you the most angry, because they know.
It's true.
They know it's going to make you angry if they show up late. They know you're going to be totally, and I was going to use a word off. You're going to be totally annoyed. You have to be focused yourself and just calm your spirit. Okay?
Yes, thank you so much.
And not so serious. Don't be serious about it. Lighten up. All y'all, Africa is bad with time. All y'all. All y'all. All y'all still in the bath bathing and 5 minutes from a drive that is 1 hour away. 5 minutes away. And you're now going in the bath to bathe. That's an African thing.
African time.
So don't be angry because you've gotten the privilege of coming through a class that caused you to be different. Be patient with others.
All right. Thank you so much.
Have
Apart
that
from
helped?
that, yes, very. You have.
All
You
right.
have.
The next class, I'll tell you how to be harsher, but it's all right. That's not for this class. Give
And I
Abu
want to say
Bakr.
that.
Say
Oh,
again.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to add to what I said that you asked Uloma what our Saturday class would be like after we are done with the year's program. I was going to say that we'll have our own class of Steele and we invite you. Or better still, we will play back all that we've been doing and then discuss like a talking point, and then fish out something out of it.
So I want to tell you a little secret so that most of you will be aware. The reference library that everybody has on YouTube right now for 1 year is
Mhm.
actually going to close.
Oh, really?
All of those YouTube videos that you guys see from this year of the class of Steele are going to be private, and only you guys that are in the class of Steele will have access to them.
Oh, wow. That would be nice.
Ah,
That it's great.
and it's your job to now do the promoting and telling people what you have learned and take them
Yeah.
to your reference library.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys will be the stewards of the library. You're the gatekeepers. So expect that if you have not seen any of the videos or you haven't noticed them, you better go download them. If you're watching this class of Steele Saturday Youth and you know about the class of Steele with those videos, I'll tell you, you're not a member of the class of Steele, these videos are going private. And they're going to go take off of YouTube. With one click of a button, all of these videos are going to disappear. And they will not be available to anybody but those who are part of the class of Steele. So if you could download them, please do it now so you have access early. Give Abu Bakr good evening. I know that you've not been here for most of the class this evening, but how has the class of Steele been for you, Abu Bakr? Abu Bakr, you're gonna unmute this evening? All right. Your Excellency, Bishop Dr. Comfort, do you want to close this evening just with your points? What do you want to say in closing for this evening?
Once again, I will say a pleasant evening and always nice and happy to be on the class of Steele, whether the senior class or the junior class. It's always a pleasure. This evening presentation, just as the previous ones, has also been awesome. I will say that reading gives you more courage and gives, apart from giving you enough knowledge on the spot, I think it also relaxes you. It takes you to a whole lot of places. I remember in our youth time, whenever they want to look for me too, I was just like, I was a shy person. I couldn't even stand before 3 people. And then by interaction with the job that I went, at the grace of God, I was able to do more than what I was expected, even at that time. But what also helped me was reading. You see, when they come to the house and they want to find me and they don't see me, they come into the room, they find me at the corner reading. It has helped me a lot. So I'm glad when this evening you thought about it. And just as you were saying about time too, I just want to make a little bit comment. African time, there have been some time ago when if you want to take a cab, you can call the cab, stop it, and then go and prepare, and then come and join. But today it's not like that anymore. So being on time is something that always helps. It also helps. This evening, I was so disappointed because I just wanted to dash into the salon and come out, just to get my hair in the water and then the light off. And I said, wow, I'm going to miss the class of C. But when I put on the class link, the place was noisy and people were coming in and out. But it pays. It pays to be on time. It pays to be on time. Now, time will not permit me to give some examples or scenarios where being on time has helped me to gain certain things I would have lost. So our dear children, our dear grandchildren, what I would say here is that you people have been so privileged to have somebody like His Excellency spending his money, his time, his everything, grooming you people up. You will never be disappointed. Wherever you find yourself in, you'll be more, or what do I say, you have the experience, you have the acumen, you have everything. So you will be above your peers in that area, I must assure you. So keep on with it. The race is about to end, but I don't know with His Essence, but I don't think it's going to end. It's going to turn out to be a different race at the end of it. I think it's like a flower, what is in the bud. At the end of it, it will open and it will flourish, and it will be a different thing altogether. So don't be disappointed. Just expect something nice at the end of the school.
Dr. Comfort, they're going to get a very good send off.
It's good evening here in Ghana, from Ghana. I'm Bishop Dr. Comfort just led.
Dr. Comfort, they are going to get an excellent send off.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to the Saturday that I don't. Do you know, I said to Judy this evening, I says, darling, what time is it? What time is it? Do you know that sometimes on Fridays, I run to start classes on Fridays at 7 o'clock, at 5 o'clock, because I'm thinking Friday is Saturday. And sometimes on Sunday, I'm thinking it's Monday. Don't you think I need a break?
Oh, sure, the break will come, but then.
Oh, God. I'm excited to be here with you guys. And you guys have kept me sharp as well. I want to thank all of you. What have I learned? And this evening in closing, I'll tell you what I have learned. I've learned the reason why a lot of people don't do what I'm doing is because of the expectation of others that they have, the dedication and the commitment they expect others would have. And when they don't see it, it can be discouraging. I've also had to learn how to pass through discouragement. I've learned how to be delivering even when you're going through personal circumstances in your life and you don't feel like delivering. Don't think that every Saturday that I came to class of Steele as a mentor that I was prepared and excited about mentoring. I obviously have personal things that I go through as well. But I've also had to go through those things professionally. I've also had times that against my better judgment, I put aside a lot of things that I decided the class of Steele youth is more important. One of the key things that I've learned is when you find a student, be the best master you can be. That's the greatest lesson to learn. When you have somebody that depends on you, don't disappoint them. Because at the end of the day, that one person that you disappoint could have been your greatest asset in life. So therefore, guys, when you finish this year in the class of Steele, I want you to think about who can I make their life better? Don't just think about how much better you've become. It's useless. It's useless reading a book and not having somebody or something to do with the knowledge. It's useless becoming better and not having somebody to bring up the ladder with you so you leave a legacy that they can do it to others. It's useless. So I hope that at the ending of these classes, that you guys are not just better for yourself. Don't be African selfish. Don't be cultural selfish. Don't forget where you got your knowledge from. Don't be ashamed to make a reference. You read a good book, give reference to the writer of the book. Don't be ashamed. You're not less of a person because you got knowledge from a book. Everybody got knowledge from somewhere. My knowledge came from studying. Don't feel you're less of a person because somebody caused you to be who you are. Most people brag about the university they've passed through. Don't be ashamed. I've got beggars on the streets that I love them so dearly because of the knowledge that they've given to me about being on the streets, what street life really like. You're not going to read it in a book by somebody that has an interpretation. I've been into the prisons and talked to the prisoners. I can't quote it as if it is my knowledge, it's theirs. They taught me. Thank you guys for a fantastic evening. I'm already missing you guys already, and it's not even September yet. Pretty Ruth, go get your sleep. Pretty, go and deal with the family. Bishop Comfort, I know that you're excited to go and sort out yourself. The time is now 2 minutes past 7, and we are bang on time to say good night and God bless y'all. For those of you who are on our YouTube channel, our Facebook channel, thank you so very much for being in the class of Steele this evening. Those of you who've been in the class, but you're not showing your videos because of whatever reasons and your positions, thank you for being in the class of Steele this evening. And if you haven't shared, don't think that we're missing you out, but we're on schedule. Good evening and God bless you guys and have a fantastic evening. Bye-bye for now, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good evening. Good morning.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Bye.
Your
Morning.
Excellency.
Bye.
Good morning,
Pretty, we
Bishop.
saw you in the
Good
peace
evening.
conference. We saw Pretty's picture in the peace conference. We saw you.
Ooh.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
How was it?
It was fine.
You had a good time?
Yes, yes. So,
Well done. You
sure.
look good and you look good there. I'm proud of you guys. Well done. You delivered well.
Doing well.
Thank you, sir. I did the class of Steele very well.
That's all that's important. Represent pretty. Make sure you make you the best you that you can be. Always remember that. Be the best you can be, guys. God bless y'all. I'll see you guys.
God
Blessings.
bless you too, Your Excellency. Good night.
Good night,
morning.
everybody. Have a
Bye.
great rest of the weekend.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.